Hello friends, this is Jim with Science Talk. Well, in this segment, I wish to discuss with you insects. I just did a video where I was talking about birds, not because the insects are emerging sooner than the birds are used to. The birds are missing the timing for when there's the maximum number of insects and thus are having problems feeding their chicks. Well, now we're going to talk about insects and how they are facing calamitous habitat loss. So, unless the nations decide to get their act together and act quickly, habitat loss could rob half of all insects around the world of half their habitat. Other organisms could also suffer in a 3 degrees C warmer world. That's basically 5.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Habitat loss may soon mean half the world's insects and many plants and animals as well could find themselves without habitat, without home ranges, which of course will impact their numbers. Right now, climate scientists warn global planetary temperatures are on course to rise 3.2 degrees C above the average for most of human history. They've already risen by 1 degree C in the last 100 years. If the temperatures do go up that high, they predict that 49% of insects, 44% of plants, 26% of vertebrates could lose more than half of their ranges, their habitats. So, the nations with the Paris Accord in 2015 took steps to restrict global warming to a target of 1.5 degrees C. If the countries can keep that pledge, then only 6% of insects, 8% of plants, 4% of vertebrates will experience severe reductions in their ranges. At 2 degrees C warming, then it's 18% of the insects. So even a half degree can mean a tripling of insects being lost and losing their habitat and so on. So half a degree may not seem like much, but it is significant. It will impact the organisms significantly. But even if 1.5 degrees C, some species lose larger portions of their range. This is a statement from Rachel Warren of the University of East Anglia, who led this study. And the study can be found in the journal Science. She goes on to state, the current global warming trajectory, if countries meet their international pledges to reduce CO2, is around 3 degrees C. So in this case, almost 50% of insects lose half their range. As I mentioned at the outset, 49% was the number. Professor Warren and colleagues from Australia report that they studied data involving 34,000 insects and other invertebrates, 8,000 birds, 1,800 reptiles, 1,000 amphibians, and 71,000 plants, took into account the capacity of each species to move to new habitat as the world warms, and they came up with their predictions as to how much these groupings of organisms can be reduced and how much of their habitat can be lost. Researchers have established repeatedly that ecosystems already under pressure from human invasion are made more vulnerable by global warming and climate change. The new study did find that a small number of species will be able to extend their range in a warming world, but most will not. Many will have fewer places to go. This is really important because insects are vital to ecosystems and for humans. They pollinate crops and flowers. They provide food for higher level organisms. They break down detritus. They maintain a balance in ecosystems by eating the leaves of plants and help recycle nutrients in the soil. They're very important. There are more species of insects than all vertebrates. Well, just the order Coleopteran, which is beetles. There are more species of beetles than all the vertebrates in the planet combined. So there's a huge number of insects. And we're talking a huge loss here. Also, writing in the same journal, but in a separate study, Guy Midgley of Stellenbosch University in South Africa warned that the options for humanity are becoming severely restricted. Humans depend on plants, insects, and other animals to deliver water quality, soil conservation, flood prevention, crop pollination, natural pest control. All this is now threatened, not just by the clearing of forests and the growth of the cities, but by the continual burning of fossil fuel. Researchers know through a detailed study of the geological past what higher concentrations of CO2 can do to global climate. And Professor Midgley says there is way too much debate about the issue of climate change and whether or not it is real. What we really need to be doing is debating how we solve the problem. Basically, the science is settled. Climate change is real, it's happening. It's caused by human activity. There really is no more debate on that. That is established. The scientific evidence for that and the data is more than overwhelming. So we need to take the next step. Okay, this is what's been found. This is what's going on. How do we address this? That's what should be happening. So I wanted to bring you that report of the risks and dangers that insects are facing, that their numbers are being threatened, losing their habitat, and also warming temperatures will kill them off as well. And if we lose 50% of insects, that is a very terrible thing. Thank you for your time. We'll talk soon. Hey folks, just a reminder to please subscribe and click the bell so you know when I drop a video. Please share my videos. Please tell others of my channel and of the work that I do. I also hope that you will consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/Science Talk with Jim Massa, where from time to time I upload videos there exclusively for my patron subscribers. Details in the description box below.